Hey guys, thanks for joining me for this next video. So what we're going to be talking about is how to manifest our dreams effectively. Now, there's a huge amount of stuff going on about manifestation at the moment, and I'd say, if I'm honest, about 80% of it isn't really accurate. So what I'm about to share with you is something I've played with and developed over many years, and it's something that is actually working for me right now. And I'm going to explain to you how I've been doing it. So the way I actually manifest things at the moment, and it is really effective, is the first thing you want to do, which kind of goes without saying, is to have a really solid, clear idea in your head of what it is that you want to manifest, okay? So clear out everything else, okay? Clear out the ego's desires, clear out everything else, and actually tune into your heart and start finding what it is that you want to do in your life. Now, what this is called is building a pattern, okay? So you need to have a pattern in order for it to actually come into fruition. Now, you need to start thinking in detail what it is you want to create, so then when you go into your visualization, it's easier for you to actually visualize it, okay? Rather than just closing your eyes and start thinking about all of these fluctuations of thoughts of like, oh, it's a car, no it's not, it's a girl, no it's not, it's money, no it's not, it's a man. Whatever it is, you need to actually have like a clear pattern first. So once I've built my pattern, what I then do after this is I do some Qigong. So I've actually got some videos about Qigong that I've made as well, but what Qigong does is it allows me to calm down my nervous system. So it calms down the vagus nerve, which is the largest nerve in the atomic nervous system, and then what happens is, with tranquility and harmony in the nervous system, it brings tranquility and harmony into my mind, okay, which then allows me to go very deeply into a meditation. Now, after I've done my Qigong, I go into a seated meditation. I go into a very deep meditation, and once my mind is kind of blissfully clear and peaceful, I then start bringing up that pattern, and I start thinking about what I want in detail. So I think about, for example, if it's a job you want, what is that job? What does that job look like when you show up every day to that job? What are the people you're going to work with look like, okay? What's your paycheck going to look like? What is your day going to look like from the moment you wake up in the morning to the moment that you leave the office, or whatever it is you're working on, okay? So this is the clear pattern within your mind. Then you also want to generate a really positive feeling about what it's going to be like once you get that, okay? So some people say, think about the past, think about good things that have happened in your life to generate that emotion, but I think that's a bad idea, because then it kind of distorts your mind and the clarity of your mind. So generate a good feeling as if it was real. Now, after you've done this, what you need to do is detach from it and let it go, and kind of let it just disappear into the distance. And as it does that, you release your attachments to the outcome, which is the next thing that I do. So the next thing you need to do is completely forget about how it's going to come into fruition, because if you do have this attachment to how it's going to come, you're going to actually block the universe from giving it to you in the way that's best for you. So a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm going to get this job and it's come from LinkedIn, and then they're continuously looking at LinkedIn for the job. But the way it's likely going to happen if you give that up is you'll be stood at, I don't know, like a line in a coffee shop or something, and get talking to some random person, and all of a sudden he wants to hire you for that exact role. This is the way it happens, and it's been happening to me recently like this too. So recently I decided to design something called photography therapy, which was a combination of mindfulness, Qigong in nature, and using photography as a way to overcome PTSD, depression, and anxiety and drug addictions. So I've designed this thing a while ago now, and I thought, I want to teach this to people. I don't just want to actually give it as a service, I want to teach this to recreational therapists. So I've made this ad on Canva, and I'm like tuned into my intuition, and I'm like, right, I've got to actually just put an ad on Facebook. So I did. I put an ad on Facebook. 1 or 2 days went by, and I've let go of every single attachment to what's going to happen here. 1 or 2 days goes by, I receive an email from the president of the Recreational and Diversional Therapy Society of New Zealand saying, hey, we've seen your advert, we've looked at your company Happy Souls, would you be interested to come and do a 1-hour presentation at our annual international conference talking about Happy Souls, your company, and all of the projects you're working on? Which was incredible, right? That's far more beautiful and profound than what I actually had in mind, and what I could have probably even thought up myself, but it just come effortlessly. And then a few months went by, and all of a sudden I'm standing on stage in front of professors and people from Canada and America talking about my company and this project I'm doing now. Then what happens is it opens doors to future things as well that unfold in the future. And this is what's been happening, and this is happening continuously over the last year now. Like, I'm just bumping into people, and these things that we call miracles have just become a part of my everyday life. And it really is working. I'm not making this stuff up, okay? Like, it is actually working. So guys, that's how you do it. Then there is something else as well. And this is the thing that people don't tell you about. You can have everything you want in life, but you have to grow into the person who can bear the weight of that specific thing. So you have to be careful what you are trying to manifest, because for example, if you are currently like a waiter or a waitress and you want to be the CEO of Apple, you can't just imagine being the CEO of Apple and then imagine yourself being some successful, billionaire entrepreneur. You have to understand there's a huge amount of personal growth for you to do, okay, that needs to be done to get to that stage. And then what will happen is, if that is actually what you want to happen and you're moving in that direction with your manifestation techniques and your emotions, what's then going to happen is the universe will start orchestrating a string of events which makes you grow into the person who can bear the weight of that thing. So this is why you have to be careful what you're wishing for, guys, because in my experience, okay, I've been through a rapid amount of personal and spiritual development in a very short space of time because I'm continuously going into it consciously. Now, unfortunately, growth is very uncomfortable. The challenges the universe give you are going to be very uncomfortable. So this is why you need to be careful, because if you are continuously trying to manifest with this technique I'm teaching you, all of these grand things, you've also got to be prepared to go through the challenges and obstacles that you need to go through to make that happen. And sometimes the challenges and obstacles can come as chaos, and you're going to think, what the hell's happened with me? And then 2 years later, you're in the actual situation you wanted to be in, and you think, oh, I actually got it in the end. But, oh, I got it through chaos. You didn't. This is the way manifestation works. You have to be initiated into what you want, and this is what people are not explaining. So just to kind of recap, guys, you build the pattern. Okay, do some qigong, go into meditation, do the visualization, let go of all attachments, okay, to how it's going to happen, and then go through the personal development you need to and wait for the right season for it to come. But during that season, because you've planted the seed, don't keep digging the seed back up again by kind of going back into it over and over and over and over again. Do a real deep visualization and let it go. And then you water the seed every single day with your mind and your emotions, okay, focusing on that goal. And you start expressing more love to people and kindness and, deepen your meditation. And that is kind of watering that seed. And then you wait for it to come into fruition. And I promise you now, it will come into fruition, but you have to stay dedicated. You can't just think, oh, I want this to happen, and then 2 months later you give up and now you want something else. You actually have to stay dedicated, and I promise you now, it's going to work. So thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you're enjoying these videos, and if you are, please leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you are enjoying about them, or maybe even what you're not enjoying about them. Or if you want me to discuss a topic I haven't discussed already, please feel free to come forward and let me know, okay? But if not, enjoy your manifestation techniques. I hope you're enjoying the videos, enjoy your journey through life, and I'll see you on the next video.